Okay, so let's start the second session after the short break, 5 minute break. We had a short break. It's 25th October, Friday, 2024, and we are in BBIS first semester English class. And we are reading Manjushree Thapa's story or essay. What is the title? Rhymes with Funju Free by Manjushree. Okay. So let's read here. She says, I was hapless. And you can see the narration is first person singular. Hapless means unfortunate. To understand the reasons for my misery. She talks about this misery. And I have a question to you. We have read the misery. For example, she wanted to save underarms, she wanted to save the legs, she wanted to drink, she wanted to not sure, sex, she wanted to have a boyfriend, she wanted so many things, but the family wouldn't allow. Now, I don't know, I have a question to you. You can do a research and write a paper. What is the source of this misery she's talking about, right? And I want you to connect this misery below with the idea of neurosis. And please, as you listen to me and my explanation, keep this word in mind and ask yourself throughout as you listen to me, what are the miseries she is facing? What are the miseries? But miserable I was in my half Nepali, half American life. Now we have the answer. We have one answer of this misery. What is the cause of this misery? This misery is split identity. This is called hybrid identity. This is called split identity. This is called identity crisis. There is a term in literary theory, identity crisis, when you are not sure whether you are male or female. Somebody can have this situation. They grow, biologically they may be male, having genitals of a boy. Biologically, they may be female, having genitals of a girl. But psychologically, they may be oriented to another gender. Right? For example, I'm not talking about her, just an example. But her case was, because she grew up in Canada, America, she had one culture inside home, another culture outside home. I had similar situation. But I didn't suffer like her, because you will see that Nepali culture and Indian culture are not very different. They are not very different. One example I'll give you. In India during Dashara, Indian people do not eat lasun, pyaz, macha, masu, nothing. They fast. And whenever I came to Nepal sometimes, and I would see in Nepal that during Dashara, Nepalese people would slaughter goats. Nepalese people would slaughter buffaloes. And when I, for the first time, came to Kathmandu or any cities and saw heaps of meat, buffalo meat, I was shocked. I was shocked. And I hated Nepali people when I saw meat eating during Dasai. Because in India, Dasai is fasting, Navaratri. For 9 days you fast. You don't eat meat. You don't eat lasun, pyaz, no ashuddha thing. But in Nepal, they eat meat. And I hate it. Something like this, okay. So I told you, this is an example of crisis identity. Look, she feels that she was tortured. Why? Because she asked the question, am I Nepali? One quarter of her mind said, no, you are not Nepali. Then she asked the question, am I American? Another quarter said, no, you are not American. Then the question came, who am I? Right? Because biologically, she looked like Nepali. Her parents made her put on Nepali dress. Her parents made her speak Nepali language. Her parents made her meet Nepali friends. But in school, outside, look what happens. Now she will tell. She will tell. This American effect. Now she will tell more about this effect, American life. And you will come to learn why she is having this identity crisis. Read ahead. I took refuge from it in art. When I had this crisis, torture, misery, what she did? She pursued art hobby. When I did art, I did not have to be in society. Look here. Here you see a conflict. What conflict? Individual versus society. This writer is individual. And she is willing something that the society doesn't allow. So she escapes society. And when this is too much, people commit suicide. When this goes extreme, people commit suicide. Nepali or American, look, I did not have to be in Nepali society or American. I could just be. This very important line, look here. Please underline this line and focus on this sentence. I could just be. I had a question when I reading this line at home. What does Manjushri Thapa mean by being just be? And I don't still have an answer. I don't have an answer. I can't tell you. But one thing I can say, that she was trying to understand herself. She was discovering herself. Such novels, such writing is known as coming of age writing. There's a term in literature, coming of age writing. This essay belongs to coming of age writing. What is coming of age writing? There is a wonderful novel written by a young girl, Sandra Cisneros, a very famous author, novelist, Sandra Cisneros, and the name of the novel is House Under the Mango Tree. I'm not sure. House Under the Mango Tree something. In that novel, Sandra Cisneros describes her experience of growing as a teenager. And I'll recommend you, girls and boys in this class, read that novel, because that novel will help you identify yourself in the novel. You will find that it's about you. The novel by Sandra Cisneros for the girls, and for the boys, a wonderful novel. Yeah, I read alone. Catcher in the Rye. C-A-T-C-H-E-R, Catcher in the R-Y-E, Rye. It's a novel which is more about young boy, teenage experience. So if you're looking for good reading, girls can go with House Under the Mango Tree by Sandra Cisneros. I'm not sure about the title, you check Google. Boys can go for Catcher in the Rye. I forgot the author, very famous, Salinger. Author, last name Salinger, S-A-L-I-N-G-E-R, forgot the first name. Both of these novels are world famous novels, wonderful reading. I'll highly recommend you read them. Okay, so I was saying, this is coming of age writing. Where in coming of age writing, the writers discover themselves as they write. They describe their growth experience. I learned to mix colors, she's talking about art, to draw likenesses, to steady my hand. I learned to use pencil, charcoal, pastel, watercolors, acrylics, oils. I went to the National Gallery and copied Picasso. I painted from life. I painted from my imagination. Fruits I painted, glasses I painted, portraits of famous people I painted, self-portraits, I made my own picture, portraits of my own hands I painted. When I was in class 6, there was a new subject in my school, art. And the name was, teacher's name was Paul sir. We would call him Paul. I remember he came in kurta dhoti. Paul sir. And Paul sir for the first time taught us to draw pictures. And in class 7, after 1 year of training in painting, I started my first portraits. And what I would do, I'd buy canvas from market, I'll make paintings, I'll copy pictures, calendars, pictures, and I would hang in my classroom. One girl in the other section saw these paintings and she fell in love with me. We were in love for 1 year. It's good to be a painter because you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? Just sharing this fun experience because it matches with her experience, right? Because I'm teaching a memoir, I will share a lot of my memory. Okay, move ahead. But art did not exempt me from all obligations. Look, you have obligations. You are a daughter. So your parents say, do this, do that. You have a sister. You have to go to college. You have to do assignments. You have to do research. You have to get a degree. You have obligations. Though we belonged to the impoverished underbelly of diseased diplomatic world. See the criticism. She says, I was diplomat's daughter. I was ambassador's daughter. But I was impoverished. I could not go to beach. I couldn't go to summer camp. I couldn't buy a dog. Though I was ambassador's daughter. One thing I like, listen to me carefully. One great quality that makes you a good writer is called honesty. Who is a great writer? Who honestly writes what they feel. Who is a great writer? One who does not pretend. One who does not make up. One who does not bluff. One who does not tell lies. What I appreciate about Manjushri in these lines is her honesty as a writer. She could have not told her, why would one like to talk about poverty? Because one might think it's insulting. But look how honestly she talks about her sexual experience, her father, her mother. Look here, read ahead. Yes. We did go to the White House and every now and then to black tie galas, parties where people will come with black tie, nice dresses, three-piece suits, or balls, dances. Once a year, oh God, once a year, the embassy hosted a National Day reception in a hotel basement. Why basement? To find a cheaper place. Embassy did not have money to host a program in a prime location where professional gate crashers would come for free drinks and a meal. Who are great gate crashers? Gate crashers, young people who look for party places and just slip in, pretending they are one of the parties, and they enjoy eating and drinking and they come out. One thing I'd like to tell you, Manjushri Thapa is also a political activist even today. In 2064-66, when Tarai was having movement, Manjushri Thapa wrote in favor of Tarai people. And in 2046, when Nepal was having movement, Andolan, Manjushri Thapa, I'm not sure, maybe came to Nepal, and she wrote a novel at that time, A Tutor of History. That novel, A Tutor of History, records one young man from Tanahu, a character, who takes part in that movement, political movement. So I was just telling you, Manjushri Thapa is a political activist also. She writes in favor of the human rights of the marginalized people. Okay, would come for free drinks and a meal. Also once a year, the embassy hosted a Dasai party at the embassy, which overflowed with suited and booted men and sari-clad women. There was the occasional meeting of friends of Nepal and Nepalese in America that we kids had to go to. Look, the language, had to go to. She did not enjoy going to the same party. See the language. See her clear message. Had to go to. Because she was forced by her parents. Also remember my sister and I having to parade ourselves. She didn't like. But her parents said, okay, take part in this parade, Nepalese cultural parade. In identical Bakku, because her parents made her wear typical Himali dress, Bakku, to show Americans about Nepali culture, and she hated the Bakku. Maybe she wanted micromidi, but she was wearing Bakku. Look here. Then, at some fair run by the diplomatic wives. Now, see this powerful line, her opinion about what happened. Look what she says. None of this constituted my idea of fun. It was a torture for me. It was a torture for me. Wearing Bakku, wearing sari, wearing Nepali dress, celebrating Dasai, going to Nepali people, it was a torture. During spring and Christmas breaks, the embassy turned into a boarding house as Nepali students, the children of family friends, came to sit out their school or college breaks. When in America, when you go for a scholarship, you don't get a scholarship in summer break. So you have to stay on your own. So many Nepali students, when there is summer break, either they would go for a job or they would go to some relatives as guest. Move ahead. Okay, now see the problem now. Girls would share my sister and my room in the attic. Look where they sat. Attic is, when you have a house like this, attic is here. They didn't have a very special living room. In the attic, boys would share my brother's attic room. My parents' room below us was off limits. Extra guests would also be put up in the official guest room, and even in the royal guest room. Please understand, she is marking out the phrase royal guest room, and her meaning is the royal guest room was not royal at all. When you mark out with single inverted comma like this is called irony. This is called irony. What is irony? Irony is using a word to make opposite meaning. Irony, I-R-O-N-Y, irony is a technique in literary writing. And in writing, many times writers say one thing and they mean the opposite. So here she says royal. She means it was poor. Which was no less, look, royal, but no less derelict. See the irony. It was written royal guest room, but the irony is it was derelict than the rest of the embassy. 1 year. Now she moves to another memory. This essay is a series of memories. And the easiest way to begin as a writer for you is pick up the pen and simply jot down your daily memory. And I promise, I bet after 6 months, you will feel like you want to be a writer. Chances are, by the time you finish BBA, you'll become a writer. Over there in 2017, used to sit a girl. Her name was Deepti Shrestha. And I told the class even in 16, write diary. And Deepti would regularly write diary. And I would read her diary. I've never seen an intelligent girl like her for 9 years. Today, she is doing her MBA in business analytics in America. As she says, she will pursue PhD. A wonderful girl. And she says that she developed a lot by this writing habit. I'll highly encourage you, buy a diary today, make it a private diary, and every evening write 1 page, 2 pages, recording your memory of the day. Move ahead. Okay. One year, a Nepali student who boarded with us took it upon himself to pursue me. She was 14. When this happened, she was 14. And one boy came and he would pursue her. I was ungainly. I was not attractive. physically. I was clumsy. Earlier she said I was gaining weight. 14-year-old with lank hair and large eyeglasses. The boy was 20. He told me he loved me. I don't think it was a love. It must have been infatuation. There's a term infatuation. You should know. What is infatuation? When you are in mid-teens or early teens, you have this emotional attraction to opposite sex. That may be bodily attraction, but that doesn't last long. It dies soon. I don't know. He told me he loved me and kissed me. His lips were faintly repulsive. She hated. Like warm milk. I remember being baffled, totally bewildered and perplexed. When he kissed her, she didn't understand what was going on. It was so sudden. He kissed her so sudden. She didn't understand what was he doing. And I request you, as you read the story, make a list of such experiences to answer the question, why she says my life was misery. She says my life was misery. Feeling sleepy, you can go out and wash your face if necessary. Try to be attentive. If you can't, go out and wash your face. I'm sorry, because it's a long class. He protested, but I have already told my parents we are getting married. Oh God, what a mad boy. Can you go like this? You tell a girl, you marry me. No, I can't marry. I've told my father, I want to marry you. Oh God, what a foolish boy. He says, why? Then she says, I am 14-year-old. We will wait, of course, he said. No, I said. Don't you love me? He said. I don't think. So I said, this is the first time in the story where you have dialogue. Under the heading, elements of narrative, please write dialogue. Under the heading, elements of the story, you have been writing characters. Now write dialogue. This is the first time you have a dialogue. Some days later, he had his roommate called to say that he had been hospitalized after a suicide attempt. He had his roommate called to say. Maybe it was a false thing, I don't know. Either he pretended, okay, call her and tell her that I have committed suicide. Maybe then she will agree to marry me. Such things happen when we are young teenagers, right? It happened a lot of times in my life. I have done such mischiefs many times. I don't know about your case. Move ahead. Distressed, I confessed all to my sister. See her misery. The boy made his friend make her a call. And he said, oh, your boyfriend or my friend has committed suicide, he's in hospital. Then what to do? She told my sister, she advised me to confess all to my mother. See the word confess. The sister said, let's go to mom and tell everything. How he kissed and what he did, all that. Is it easy to go to mother and say the boy kissed me? That's not easy. Even more distressed, I confessed all to my mother. Even more distressed. See, the talking sex with mother is not easy. Came my mother's swift verdict. What did she say? No Nepali boy will ever marry you now. Balla khais, she said. Balla khais. Ab tero bandami huncha, duniyaले थाहा पाउँछ, अब तँलाई कसैले बिहा गर्दैन. Balla khais. Sorry for this Nepali. Maybe the mom spoke that way, I don't know. Right? Do you think her mother should have responded that way? No. I should say that her mother did not have good understanding of handling teenagers. See the problem? When parents don't understand their emotions and feelings. We face difficult time when our parents do not understand our emotions and feelings as we are growing as teenagers. Then with a few quick phone calls to the boy and to his parents in Nepal, she and my father made the whole thing go away. Oh God, they had to phone call Nepal and tell the boy's father and mother, your son has committed suicide for our daughter, but we can't get her married to your son. Right? I believed my mother. No Nepali boy would ever marry me now. And even today, as I know, last year's information, Manjushree Thapa is unmarried. She didn't get married. She didn't marry, even today. I don't know for this time, but till last year, when I taught this lesson last year, I checked her Facebook account and I found that she's still single. That belief set me free. This is important. Now, because Manjushri says that, when I knew I wouldn't be marrying any Nepali, I felt I'm free. So a question comes, does marriage end all your freedom? Because many Western feminists say that marriage is a legal prostitution. They say marriage is an institution that allows legal prostitution. The wife gives sex, in return gets food, clothes and shelter. No freedom. With marriage, all freedom for women ends, many women think. Western perspective. If no Nepali boy was ever going to marry me, why not? I reasoned, actually be worthy of rejection. She said, I'll reject. Why? She said, I don't worry about Nepali boys marrying me. I'll reject all Nepali boys. And she says, I'll reject all boys. Then she says, I wanted to be a boy. Later she says, I wanted to be a boy. That line was quite disturbing for me. Why would a 16-year-old girl say, I wanted to be a boy? I don't know. Read and understand. Come. Why bother to be a good Nepali girl or any kind of girl? She said, I do not bother to be a girl because I want to be a boy. I asked these girls here, have you ever seen your siblings? Have you ever seen boys around your neighborhood and envied them? And have you ever felt you want that kind of freedom? I had Miss Shanti Shrestha long ago. I taught at grade 11. One day she wrote a letter to me. She wrote a letter at the back of the assignment copy. She said, Divakar sir, pachadi chidi cha padnu la. I said, okay, padchu. Do you know what she wrote? She writes, Sir, मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. I'll speak Nepali. It was Nepali. मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. सरलाई थाहा छ किन यस्तो हुन्छ. मेरो भाइ छ घरमा. हामी चाहिँ सँगै निस्किन्छौँ. म 11 मा पढ्छु, भाइले 9 मा पढ्छ. अनि बिहान निस्किने बेलामा मम ड्याडले भाइले 50 रुपैयाँ दिनुहुन्छ खाजा खान, मलाई 20 रुपैयाँ दिनुहुन्छ. Then she writes further. बेलुका 5 बजे म घरमा आइन भने मम्मीले मलाई कुचोला हान्नुहुन्छ अनि सोध्नुहुन्छ कहाँ गएकी थिइस् भनेर. तर मेरो भाइ सर राति 9 बजे आउँछ, बुवा मम्मीले केही भन्नुहुन्न. तपाईलाई थाहा छ सर, मैले मेरो घरमा मेरो बुवा मम्मीले मेरो भाइ र ममा कत्रो डिस्क्रिमिनेसन गर्नुहुन्छ. मलाई पढ्न मन लाग्दैन. Today she is in America. Shanti. I taught her. I don't know if I should tell her name, right? But I don't tell where she's from. Her father is a tailor in New Road. He has a tailoring shop, big shop. Shanti. I never forget. Wonderful girl. She trusted me like a father. More than father. That's why she shared something with me which she could not share with the family. That's the role of a teacher. That's the role of a teacher. Move ahead. Okay. So she says, I did not want to be a girl at all. For a stormy year. Why stormy? Because so many bad things happened. And a half, I wore my hair. Now look, she says, I didn't want to be a girl. Now look this in. She trimmed her hair. Dressed in lumberjack outfit, in hoodies. Lumberjack hoodies that boys do. Walked with a manly swagger. Walked like a boy. And rejected everything to do with pleasing Nepali girlhood. I was very consciously avoiding to be a girl. What is a girl? What does being a Nepali girl mean? Being a Nepali girl might mean have a long hair, Don't show your thighs and knees. Cover all body. Huh? Don't wear makeup. Be shy. Naina Bannula kind of girl. The Nepali movie. The bloody foolish movie. Sorry for this wrong word. What is Naina Bannula? When the boy says, may I kiss you? Naina Bannula. When the boy says, may I hug you? Naina Bannula. Oh God. Oh God. This is a bad movie. Because the movie teaches the girls, Naina Bannula. Whereas we should teach you, Nai Bannula. You should learn, girls, you should learn, Nai Bannula. When the boy touches you outside in the corridor, Nai Bannu. When the boy touches your body, Nai Bannu.